All right, so I received a screener for a found footage film called Name the Demon, and this is an exorcism found footage film where these guys come to document an exorcism, and the whole thing is made to look like it's done in one take. So first point here that I want to make, and this is just my own personal preference because I find it to be distracting and lame. I'm not a fan of this choice when anyone does it, but they keep the like framing thing up on the screen with like the battery and the runtime of the footage and everything on the screen, the whole thing. Now, when you're looking through the camera, that's on there. Right? So that's what we would see if it was being filmed live. But then when you play back that footage, it would not have any of that stuff on the screen. So for me, it actually just takes me out of the film because I feel like what I'm seeing is supposed to be live footage. Like if I was there filming it and I'm watching the camera and it's showing the time. Now, this person also owns a camera that seems to have the worst battery in the history of film. I get that the battery is like a countdown to the end because once the battery expires, the movie ends. So it starts at 100%, and I just kept watching it the entire film because it drops like a percentage every like 30 seconds. And I just kept looking over, and I would just, it gives you this indication of like, all right, you're 50% of the way through the movie. So if you count backwards from 100, wherever you're at, there's like 3% of the movie left, 7% of the movie left. You know what I mean? So that's kind of an interesting technique to do where the battery goes from 100 to 0 from the beginning of the film to the end. But I don't like leaving the framing on the screen as if I'm watching the camera live. So that right there already takes me out of the film a bit. So that has something going against it. On its own. This is currently streaming on Tubi, so for any found footage fanatics who are really, really into exorcism movies and they don't care about acting and they're like, as I said, like super, super into exorcism movies, you can definitely check it out. I personally did not care for this movie. I started watching this with my wife. She bowed out. She thought it was terrible. She was like, absolutely not. I'm done. And went and did her own thing. I finished it probably in about 5 different sittings. I just couldn't get to it. I was like watching 10 minutes here or 20 minutes there. It was really annoying. And I ended up having to, because my screener expired. And so I had to finish it on Tubi because I don't ever review films I didn't finish. And I thought that, I'm sorry, I hate to say this because it is low budget. I thought it was a very ambitious film. So I will give them credit for trying to make this look like it's one take. That is no small feat. So I think you guys did really well with that concept and you were able to pull it off in a way that actually looked fairly seamless, for an untrained eye. I thought that worked really well. So good on you for that idea. I think that's a smart one with found footage. I do not like exorcism movies almost at all. It is my least favorite subgenre, so you already have something working against you with me. But my biggest gripe for the film, easily by far, is the acting. With found footage, the believability. I talk about this in like every found footage review I do. But that verisimilitude, right? It's that believability factor. Like, I can watch traditional narrative films with like a wide array of bad acting, to varying degrees. There's levels I drop off on, right? But with found footage, that I'm a little more strict on because I really have to believe. And let me tell you, I know a lot of people think that this is an easy task. You just got to act natural. Acting natural on a camera, like in front of a camera, is so complicated. It is so hard to do. Like whenever someone pulls out a camera, they start acting different. That's just how people are. They want to posture like they're, cooler than they are, smarter than they are, sexier than they are, whatever. There's some kind of insecurity that comes out of them, and then they have to hold themselves different, and they have to talk different, and they think they have to be really entertaining, and they have to be a certain level of loudness, or like something changes in people when a camera starts rolling. And the best found footage movies have characters that do not feel like they're acting at all. They just feel like authentic, genuine people. And the lines that are delivered in this, these are clearly scripted lines that people are remembering, and they feel like they're kind of just reciting and reading them as they say them. So pretty much everybody. I'm not pointing a finger at anyone. I actually think the little girl who's in this does a pretty good job. I mean, she's a little kid, so I'll give her a little more leeway, but she actually felt pretty believable to me. But everyone else in this, I'm not going to point any name names or point any fingers or anything. I think they're all equally not good for me personally. You may have a different experience, but yeah. If you're someone who doesn't care and you want to watch a found footage one take exorcism movie, it's on Tubi. You can check it out. But then, like, another thing is all exorcism films are the same to me. Like 99% of them, this exact same film for me. So I already hate them. But it's always another thing that always drives me insane is the the one who is possessed, the one they're there to exorcise. It's just become so cliche. It's become so tropey to me. They always just say like really vile things in like some distorted voice, and they're like, your mother sucks cocks in hell kind of thing. But they just try. This is all they do now, and it's just like, how gross can I be? What vile thing can I say? And it just all feels so forced. This one especially, just like the girl screaming. I'm sure she's giving it her all. I'm not knocking anybody for their attempt at anything here. Not saying I could do any better. I'm just gonna calls them as I sees them. But to me, this is all just like so forced. Like, just say every vile thing that comes in your head and scream it at the camera, and we'll call it a day. And so yeah, none of that worked for me. There's nothing unique or original to this film outside of it looking like it's in one take. So for me, it's a definite pass. But if that all sounds somewhat up your alley, you should check it out. I'm not here to tell you to not watch something. So you know yourself better than I. Let me know if you check it out. It's on Tubi. And I'll see you in the comments. Adios.